8th house is revenge. He's getting some kind of revenge. Welcome to Royal Revelations. For more predictions, I'm Val Evans, and later we are going to be joined by Amber with Taurus Moon Tarot. Everybody is talking about the fact that England has a new prime minister.
That significant lead for the past 14 years, but voters now pushing out the Conservatives, upset over how the Conservative Party has handled Brexit, a pandemic, political scandals. You can see the new prime minister there and his wife standing outside 10 Downing Street, the official residence of the prime minister.
If you are just joining us for the first time, we are on Friday afternoons in the States at 4:30 Eastern and 9:30 p.m. in London. And hey, Amber, what's going on? You know, the color red, the army, all of these subjects that have to do with Aries. What do you think?
Well, the thing that I remember for sort of kicking off that concept or those images was that portrait of the king that really just launched. And it's like ever since that portrait was, revealed, everything sort of followed in that same, display of that color and those themes.
Things that I'm seeing from now till 2025 that have to do with King Charles, Princess Catherine, Prince Edward, Camilla. Oh, we've got the whole group in, and we are going to make some assessments and predictions. Before we get started, I just want to tell everybody where to find you. Taurus Moon Tarot 761, and you do readings. And if anybody wants to email you, the email is in the description. So definitely check out Amber, subscribe, and like some of her content. Tomorrow night, it's Live with Val. I'm doing my first Live with Val, so I hope you can join me. It is at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. I'm just going to talk about a bunch of cases, whatever you want to talk about. So I'll be on for at least an hour. And this is the redhead. See, I mean, it's not really close, but the hair, but
it's a hue, it's a shade.
Nobody wants to be the redhead now because they're front and center, and it is definitely it's weird because when I was looking at how many people have red hair, Leo is reddish hair and blonde hair, and even Princess Diana, when she was young, had reddish hair.
Strawberry.
Yeah. Yep. She looked a lot like her brother. Prince Edward had reddish hair. Crazy. Yeah. So then they all go bald, which is also Leo.
Oh, that's right.
It's either lots of hair or bald or both. A lot of times, you start out with a lot and then it goes. I wonder what's up with that. Now, for the July predictions, I pulled the Two of Cups, and you know how I told you last time that sometimes I'm trying to figure out, like, if the headlines haven't hit yet from what we were talking about, because sometimes it takes a little while. I'll pull a card and I'll be like, what should be our topic? And so I got Two of Cups reversed, which does have something to do with trust. So I made this to show the trust factor. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, last week, it is a theme, and it does sort of unfold, I think. The energy is unfolding as we talk and as we sort of, dive into the energy. And the Two of Cups was in the read last week, I think a couple of times. And I remember that card coming out, at least for me. And so when I saw what you had pulled for today, I did my short, pull, and I have the Lovers in reverse, which is sort of the major arcana of that Two of Cups, similar energy in a reverse. So it's an interesting storyline that could be involving a relationship that is in its detriment or is in its, state of divide.
And from a higher level, it could just be trust, which is so interesting because, the prince has a prince's trust. And it's actually the name of something, which is, all Scorpio. Scorpio is trusts.
Right.
So we're going to see that word anyway, but now it's that reversal of trust. And it's so reflective of what's going on. Nobody trusts each other, it seems, except the new golden boy is Prince Edward. So we can see a lot of information from Prince Edward's chart about the kingdom, about other people. So we're going to look at that. But just reminding you that this was the picture that came out on Prince William's birthday, which Princess Catherine had posted. This was actually on a beach. And we were talking about how it reflected a surprise. It's Uranus-related things. It was 2 days later. Princess Anne had her accident.
Yes.
And yet there are changes. It's not always accidents. It's sometimes it's changes and things that are surprising. So hopefully there are some happy surprises when it comes to upcoming games, which we're going to talk about. Now, this is Prince William's solar return. Just want to remind you guys, let's talk about the game. Now, we've got July 14th is a big day for England because they're going to go into the Euro final that day. Now, judging from his solar return, we're still in his first house. Okay. So the first house for Prince William goes from June 21st to July 21st. June 21st to July 21st there's a lot of stuff going on. You can tell when you look at your own solar prediction, solar return, if you have lots of planets in a certain house, that month is going to be very, very active. For Prince William, we're basically coming into Aries now for him in his part of, that first month of his solar return, which would be June 21st when he had his birthday to July 21st. So there is something that's kind of good about it. And when you have a moon trine to North Node. Now, North Node, if you see that in your solar return, that's what you're going to get. William gets something. What is he receiving? Well, Moon is in the 9th house. There's a nice trine here. It looks like he's going to get something in Germany. Could this mean that there's a high percentage that they could actually win this game? The one thing about it is you've got a square to that North Node. There's something in the way of that win. And when you have people down here, and it's also, let me see here. They're squaring Neptune. Sometimes that can mean that players go missing. You're not working with the full team. The star players, some of them can't play. What do you think? No pressure or anything. Or what do the cards say when it comes to this big game?
Yeah, it's funny. Right as you started talking about it, I started asking that question regarding the game. And I thought, oh, it looks like maybe a loss. But the immediate card that followed was the 10 of Cups. So I have the 10 of Wands in reverse and the 10 of Cups. And then I actually had the Death card just now fall out sort of sideways. It really wasn't reverse or upright. But what it makes me think is that, like you said, maybe there's an injury. Like a player is injured. Maybe it's the person who they sort of heavily rely upon and they have an injury and they can't play. Or halfway through, they're injured and they have to be pulled out. Something like that. But I see if it's a yes, no, for win for England, I would say yes. I would say yes. It's a win.
You can't get any, well, I don't know. You tell me. Can you get any better than the 10 of Cups? I mean, that's...
Yeah. Exactly.
Amazing.
That's a big old yes card. Even the Death card, that can, with the 10 of Cups and this reverse of the 10 of Wands, it's like regardless. It's like a win regardless. It's from no to yes. That's sort of how I read that.
Somebody parties too hard. They go unconscious. Okay. So, well, that's nice that we can have some good news, because after a couple of shows where we get the Tower, it's like, you don't know whether it is what it reflects. Sometimes it is very literal. It's like, go to the Tower, the Tower Bridge we were talking about. But now it's nice to talk about the games. Yeah. So now let me go back to this. And it looks like he gets something. And the Moon in the 9th, that's a really nice headline. That's like a yay. So something's happening. And this is all going to go down between June 21st and coming up to July 21st. first. So there is a gain. We wonder what the gain is. He could use a gain. So way to go, William. Now, next thing is, this is kind of out of left field, but it works into the trust factor thing. I just happened to look at Princess Catherine's 2025 solar return. And here it is. She was born on January 9th. And so we would look at January 9th for 2025 to the next January 9th, which would be 2026. And she's going to be a Jupiter rising, and Jupiter is retrograde next year. Now, there are a couple of really good things, which it's funny. Sometimes these charts can be, they tell you one thing and then they tell you the opposite. So for example, you would see this T-square here where this is Saturn. This is Saturn in the third. She can't talk. She can't say anything. It's like a complete stuck. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if the third house, like, here's the Chariot again, where the Chariot is just, the brakes are on, But on the good side of things, you've got part of fortune.
Yes.
It's like super strong for her, and it goes to her career. It's in Libra. So you got me. I mean, that's relationships. It's the court. It is something that she's very successful with. It could be something that she wants to do when it comes to her career of some sort. But how weird that she would be. I mean, I tell people, when you see part of fortune, looking really great like that. And that's also in Leo. So this is being a royal. It is an inheritance. It's children. It's being very strong. Like, she has strength next year. That's nice to see. But this shows to me with a square to Saturn. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be the whole year. It only shows just for a couple of months. It's going to maybe be around her birthday, then January, February, March 9th to April 9th. That's when it really kicks in. And then there might be another month that has to do with it. But it looks like she's just completely stopped when it comes to third house. So that could be your sister, that could be uncles and brothers and all that stuff. It's a complete cutoff, but it's also that she stops talking. So why, I was wondering, do you think she stops talking?
This is interesting. I'm going to pull another clarifier, but I had this earlier a couple of times, and it made me think again of real estate, or like moving or not being able to move. It's like stuck at home. This could be stuck at home or a home. But let me see. And that's not third house. That is definitely fourth house. The other thing, the star card. What is she not thinking about? Oh, okay. Queen of Pentacles. I see this a lot for her, and this is Capricorn, so certainly see that. This is something where she stopped with what she wants to do that might be related to, this is an example. It's an example. Make-A-Wish Foundation, something like that. Maybe it's just delayed. That's what it is. It's delayed. But I don't think it's something new that she's involved in. I don't see anything about communication, though.
Interesting. It could also be, it's sadness. Third house is what your mind is for that year. And so it's kind of, it's a little bit hard to describe, because she's going to be sad about something.
Yeah, the moon, that's exact. This can be depression and sort of your emotions sort of being repressed or being, pushed down below the surface and not really very outward. But then I also got the Harry card that I always get, the 9 of Wands. I don't know if it's about him, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's something delayed that she's trying to do that is from before, something she's always done, but pushing it forward and is stalled in that for some reason.
It's also not to be an alarmist, but
Underneath the moon, I have the Two of Cups in reverse.
the one that I chose for the
Yes.
thumbnail.
Yes.
Wow. Okay,
That-
that's lack of trust.
Yeah.
Interesting, because Jupiter is the husband as well. It can be you and it can be the husband. And I think, and now it did not come up in your cards, but it can show that you're very cold or that you stopped talking to someone.
Yeah.
And
Well, that could be the moon. The moon could be that very repressed. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Christine. And Golden Aura says the two lovers with red hair, I think, is Lady Louise and her new boyfriend, Felix, who is also a redhead, who she met at St. Andrews University. They are smitten by the photographs, and she is 20 years old. Oh, good for her.
No.
Okay. All right. Now, yeah, that third house is intriguing to me. That T square also, it's all in Pisces. Pisces comes up quite a bit for the royals, especially, funny enough, for Prince Andrew. Now, or I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Prince Andrew because of scandals, but Prince Edward as well, because Prince Edward, which of course is King Charles's youngest brother, he ran a video company for many years. So he's got so much creative energy that he really wanted to apply to his life and couldn't do it. After a while, he did have a company for a while, but then King Charles got pissed at him and he eventually had to shut it down. And so I'm going to talk about that in a second. Now, yeah, so that's Princess Catherine's third house. So much going on about that. She didn't have a good third house this year either. It was very much trying to talk, but she couldn't talk. So I think there's going to be a replication of what she had to deal with. It's sort of like what's really weird for Princess Catherine, and I think it can reflect in our own lives, is that suddenly people need you more, but you're able to help them less than you were a few years ago. So it's just how life works, I guess. Okay, so quick solar return chart. You know I'm always intrigued with Black Moon Lilith. This is in all of our charts every year. But for Camilla, it's going to be activated this month. And it has to do with part of fortune. And when I saw that part of fortune, I thought, made me think of how she was recently, in the last few days, given an award by King Charles, the ceremony of the thistle or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was lauded and congratulated and applauded, and she got a lot of really good attention, which if you're to see that in your solar return chart, you can see that through part of fortune. Everybody is like, bravo. Oh my God. Oh, Amber, how did you do it? You know? So always like, so part of fortune can show when that comes true, and it's going to be in your chart every year, which month that's going to come out. But why is that sextiling part of fortune, which is something that is, well, it's in Leo. I mean, she was the lover, which is Leo. And it's with Venus. So it's something to do. It just seems something is dark there. Or it might not be dark for the Camilla lovers. It might be something that is just a secret that's out. It's kind of like hiding in plain sight. Could be a person themselves. Could be another woman who's there watching everything happen, because there's Venus, and next to Black Moon Lilith is somebody else sometimes. So I wonder, number one, what's Black Moon Lilith? And could it be somebody else? Is it another woman in that crowd of, by the way, they went to, this would be the same month too, they went to that garden party.
Yeah.
8,000 guests. Can you imagine? That's some garden. Of course, it's 8, right? The Scorpio number.
Yeah.
But no way that they probably were able to shake everybody's hand. But Venus rules the month of June 17th to July 17th. She is enjoying that part of fortune. But for Camilla, I wonder, What is the Black Moon Lilith energy? Can you tell us?
So, I actually got a thought that she might be the Black Moon Lilith. We might see a change in her appearance. And my first thought was maybe there is a little bit of weight loss, not in a bad way or that she needs to. She's a lovely lady. But that her appearance might be changed, or she might start wearing what I was thinking was darker colors. She's very pastel and very light. And I thought maybe we'll see her in a different look. But I also think there could be a person, and we always get this, but is it someone who works for her with this Hermit card, this Virgo card in reverse, which is not always great, but she has the Justice and the Wheel of Fortune. It could be someone in her court that works for her. And it actually could be, yes, a woman. This is very Black Moon Lilith-esque with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. It's a dark-haired woman, brunette woman. Let's see. What? Two more. I almost feel like, is it a lawyer? Is it someone that works with her and is like a guide or a someone that's guiding her through a legal thing?
Yes.
Like I don't know, travel assistant. It's very chaotic. It seems very chaotic.
I think that it not only reflects, like you said, Camilla, but I think it could be both.
Yeah.
The Black Moon Lilith is watch your back.
Yeah.
In this case, though, it looks like that person, and I always like to see this, nothing against the Black Moon Lilith types, but I like to see when Uranus squares them, because you can see this is Uranus and then there's a square. Now there's a possibility. See, what's really weird is that it seems like it already happened or something, or maybe there was a change that this person didn't like. I don't know, because this would be, let's see, this would have been April that would have happened. But yes, Black Moon Lilith and Venus is somebody who is beautiful and successful, and they're in the crowd. And I think possible now, let's see, somebody who would work for her, somebody who would be her support would be Venus. Venus is support employees. It can also mean hidden enemies. So this is a hidden enemy who has Leo characteristics, might have a title. Maybe there's a lady that works for her, or somebody who might be named Taylor. I'm trying to think of all of those Leo names.
Yeah.
But with red hair seems, because of Mars right there, or might be in a red dress. I wonder.
Oh, interesting. Here's this Justice card, which looks like a red dress.
Oh, wait, hold on one sec.
I wonder if, yes, Larry, yes, this red dress, this very much looks like the portrait as well. The red dress, the new prime minister's wife.
Exactly, yes.
Is she a lawyer?
I don't know. Do you think?
I have sort of this lawyer thing with the Justice card and the Wheel of Fortune. The couple cards are telling me lawyer. I don't know.
Okay, let me see. And it would make sense that this would be the month where the woman in red would go to the 10th house. She would be out in the open, and there would be the sextile with Camilla. So they might be talking. They have access to each other.
Yeah.
So it would be Keir Starmer. What can we find out about Keir Starmer's wife? Well, she's now the first lady. We know that. What does she do for a living? Oh, it's Lady Victoria Starmer. And Lady Victoria, she's a lawyer.
No, she's not. Is she really?
She's a lawyer. That's nuts.
That is nuts.
She's trained. She's trained as a solicitor, and the couple met through work. She now works in occupational health for the NHS. The role she loves. Crazy. Okay, wait.
Okay.
This is weird. Now, we're not saying anything bad necessarily, but she does have Black Moon Lilith. So that means she or somebody does not care what your needs are. She is going to do what she needs to do. And but it seems like they have they're working together. It's like yay, shaking hands, that kind of thing. Yeah.
It's the energy you described of sort of having that opposition or dichotomy of energies where it's like helping, like the Jupiter versus the part of fortune. And this, it's these two together for me. The Justice card in the upright, which is things going well. And then the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, where it's going against you. It's this push-pull. So maybe that connection and that work relationship is a little bit surface level.
So Wheel of Fortune reversed.
Right. Which is sort of that it's good, it's bad. It's like this pull of energy that's,
Going along with what you said, I forgot about this. When you have South Node in, you're going to have a South Node in all of your charts every year, but South Node is to lose weight. It would be in the month between June 17th and July 17th. So it looks good for her. She's got a trine to the moon with that, in a sense. She's getting herself in shape, I guess. I don't know, but sometimes some people they ask me, they're like, well, I had South Node, but I didn't lose any weight. But you just have to look at the shape of it. Sometimes there's a lot of squares, which she still does have, but it does look like she's getting maybe some help in some way. So everybody can rejoice about the South Node, I think, in some cases. Now we're going to go to Prince Edward's arrival, and I put up this funny thumbnail because it looks like he's riding in. It's dusty, and he's coming in because he's going to be the golden boy now. And so far, it looks like, he's having these events that he's attending with King Charles and Queen Camilla. Even now, he is the Duke of Edinburgh. So suddenly there's all of this. And in my mind, suddenly, I don't know, maybe somebody's telling me that they're always doing stuff in Edinburgh, but suddenly there's this big pomp and circumstance in Edinburgh, and there's like shaking hands and giving the key or giving the knife and give the key back and give, all of the ceremonial stuff. So it's almost like we're putting our support behind Edward, which means we put our support behind Edinburgh. Real quick, for solar return charts, if some of you are wondering where your South Node is, go to AstroSeek, pull your birth chart, go to the solar return red link. It's in the top right. Click on your year. If you've had your birthday already, you'll click on 2024. If not, you're going to be clicking on the last birthday you had in 2023. And then you click the solar only tab. And I'm just going to go through Prince Edward real quick, but it's a great way to learn how to look at your own solar return chart. He has got part of fortune. Like, you rarely see that. So like, this is partile. This is exact on his ascendant, which shows that he's being successful. You can see a trine to his MC. And that is, everybody sees him as a success. There's Gemini, so that's maybe speaking. Thank you. Hello. Could be twins of some sort. So maybe there's somebody around that looks like him, or lots of twos. Also, the trine to the South Node. Now, the South Node also, looks like, you're losing weight and all that, but is also the truth. So he is knowledgeable. He knows the historical information, and he is, I think, coming in to help Prince William, because Prince William, he knows a lot, but it's nice to have, in case King Charles can't be there, somebody with that historical knowledge. March 10th, we start here. So that's March, April, May, June, July 10th to August 10th. That's coming up. What do we have here? Bam. Black Moon Lilith.
Yes.
Somebody's coming in and trying to block his success. I want to know who it is. Now, we have Black Moon Lilith. It's in the 5th house of family. This could be a family member.
Mhm.
This is a lot of stuff going on in the 11th house. Now, this is social media. So there's a possibility that this person does not like all of the headlines that Prince Edward is suddenly getting, because he didn't get all of those headlines before. He was in the back. Now everybody's clearing out, and suddenly Edward comes on the scene.
Yeah.
This is like the 1980s with Dynasty. Like, you never knew what was going to happen from week to week. And so now, and why am I talking about this? Because when you look at it's basically a T square, give or
Mhm.
take, and you've got that, and the success is blocking something too. Not just he's getting blocked, and Gemini is a big clue too. It has to do with television. So somebody doesn't want him on TV, doesn't want him in photos. It is, I don't know, it's a block. Can you give us more information about what that is?
I knew that this is what I was thinking a moment ago with the Three of Pentacles, when you were talking about sort of having a mentor, supporter, like Prince William with his uncle. But when I asked who this was, what is the block that's happening for him? Could it be a woman, Queen of Wands in reverse? And she's not very nice when she's in reverse. It's someone very difficult, very challenging. In addition to a very challenging energy or feminine energy is the Strength in reverse, which is someone perhaps threatened by power, threatened by, his elevation or his visibility. This is a very, topsy-turvy ego. This is an ego hit to someone that could be a woman. And it could be a royal woman with the Strength card, that Leo card.
I know. I'm thinking, could it be Camilla?
It could be. Yeah.
Camilla's
the Queen cards too. Yeah, this is the restrictive thing, and it might have to do with money. It might be, no, this is not in the piggy bank. This is not, something that we're willing to, maybe there's an argument about the cost of that in elevating or providing him with more, visibility and leadership. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Let me just look at where Camilla is in his chart so that we can see. So right now, the older brother, which is King Charles, he would be the 11th house. And so we count 7 for Camilla. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There she is. Maybe.
Wow.
Remembering that this is for entertainment purposes only,
Yes.
and it's a complete conjecture.
Your opinion.
Camilla. It's Camilla. And you know what? Virgo is working and duties.
Yeah.
Maybe pets. Probably not pets.
Yeah.
But yeah, the duties. He's getting geared up to do something, and she's like, nope. That's me. I'm doing that. And so that's going to come in, I guess July 10th to August 10th. We'll see. I wonder if anything like that we'd ever be able to get the information on that. There's also something really interesting too, where this person is very upset. Usually they're upset because there's a T square. They're blocked. They're just angry and stuck. And so you can see this person in the family, and there's a trine to Jupiter. And this is a secret. Nobody sees this except this woman. And this could be an ex-husband because of Uranus and Jupiter together. It could be the husband. But her husband is Mars in his chart, because in Edward's chart, because of the 11th house ruler. Jupiter could still be her husband, but let me see. I wonder if it has something to do. I mean, it is in Taurus, so that would be something that has to do with money and funding and the gardens. So maybe that makes sense. It's like, look, Give Camilla the garden party. She wants 8,000. Give her 8,000. 10,000. Give her 10,000 people. Does anybody have 10,000 invites? You know, get the printing presses going, and let's have her do that. And remember, the 12th house is support. So she's supporting those garden parties. Why garden? Because Taurus is garden. So, so that's keeping her happy. So there's a possible balance there. I like it. I like it. Yeah. And then also Sophie gets around the rules, I say here. Now, Sophie is the 7th house. So she's Jupiter this year. That makes sense. His wife is getting along with this person. Yeah. And Sophie does get along with Camilla. So that's what happens. They're able to maybe do some backdoor type of dealings. And Sophie says, well, you know, she kind of eases the bumps in the road. Yeah. Okay. So this I thought was super interesting. Oops. This is his birth chart. And I like his birth chart because it's kind of like mine. And except for his 11th house of brother, it's in Regulus. And I don't have an older brother, so there's no king in my family. Wow. But my friends have Leo Regulus types of descriptors. They're blonde and you know, they're queens in their own right. But yeah, so he's Venus, and so he is down. Where is he? He's over here. What's really interesting is that for his work, the 6th house, it's Neptune, and you can tell that he is very, very, very creative. He's got all this Pisces, so it makes sense that he would have this this production company for so long. Yeah, and yet they got into this scuffle because Prince Edward, there was one of his colleagues, I guess, or one of his workers was videotaping Charles, and Charles had a fit. He's like, you are done. Okay. There's going to be no more Ardent Productions, which by the way means enthusiastic and passionate. Now, so let's see. So the sun, he's right in here. Charles is right in his business. And he's like, no. So there's a opposition to Uranus, which it means to cut, to strike, to interrupt. You're done. But you know, what was the alternative? He supported the Queen and basically closed down, or he stepped away in 2002. The production company itself closed down in 2009. Anyway, for anybody who has a lot of Pisces, it's just very creative, and also an introvert. So here's the thing about Prince Edward is that, you know, he does come off as kind of shy. Like he's not one of these typical egomaniacs that, you know, want to go out and get awards all the time. He's perfectly fine being behind the camera. And so wouldn't that just be like typical of all of our lives when we're comfortable with doing something, we're pushed into doing something completely the opposite? Yes. And so this is kind of the case, the South Node in your birth chart, you're going to see what you're feeling really comfortable in. And with Capricorn, I mean, that could be the government, the rules, just having knowledge, being stable, liking history. Third house might be, you know, maybe, I'm not sure what they did with his production company, but maybe he liked to talk, third house talk, about history. And
does he collect old cars?
Oh, yes, absolutely. No, I don't know, but
I don't know if he does, but that would be something.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Right. Prince Edward. I'll bet
you. I mean,
he definitely
too. Yeah, something historical. I was just thinking third house. I was thinking cars.
Classic. I mean, Capricorn means classic. So let's see here. Prince Edward. A lot of classic cars for sale. Nothing. I'll bet if we dug.
Yeah. It'll be my homework. I'm going to dig it up.
Okay. But yeah, absolutely. There should be something like that as far as classic cards, but look at how the North Node, which is what you're not comfortable doing, what you are destined to do, what you have to do. It is the head of the snake. So you get too close to it, it's going to bite you, it's going to hurt. So you kind of got to like dance around it your whole life.
Yeah.
And the ninth house is the headlines and being, I don't know, being famous. Cancer is being, I guess, supportive of his home, maybe being a psychic. I don't know. But ninth house is headlines. So he's just getting started, I think.
Yeah.
And by the way, just real quick, I decided to look at 2002 when he was in that big scuffle. Look at the 10th house. He's got Jupiter and Mars. He is pissed about something that has to do with his career. But then look at how this is Charles right here. The sun is squaring Saturn. That means brother says stop, or they stop talking altogether. So I really think that those rumors about them having a falling out were true probably for a couple of years. Saturn is a coldness. You don't want to talk to that person.
Yeah.
And very sad because, you know, Prince Edward is very creative. All that Pisces had to just stop. And Pisces are going through that right now with Saturn. You know what? Saturn in Pisces is going to be going over these personal planets of his, which has to do with his brother. So his brother, the sun in here, it's going to go back and forth. Now, this is the transit chart for 2002, but for this year, that's crazy.
Yes.
Saturn is going to stop his work. I mean, not that he was working there anyway, but like just in case you thought, Prince Edward, you were going to be creative in any way, forget it.
Yeah.
It is cold, it's dark, and then his brother is in there too. So King Charles is getting that Saturnian energy.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, progressed chart. So this is interesting. When you see your progressed chart and you see that the ascendant is in the last degrees, and we've seen this before with other royals, it shows that he's coming to an end in an era. And I'm happy for him because coming to the end of a Scorpio era is a good thing. It is not easy to be in those years. So he's going to be coming out of it. And so his ruling planet is going to change from Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, and it's going to go, since going into Sagittarius, he's going to change over to Jupiter in the 5th house. So what does that mean? Well, it looks a lot better because look how there's this right now. What he's having to go through is that red T-square. Everybody's fighting. There's power plays. There's deaths. Nobody's talking to each other. And then I'm going to say 3 years from now, he's pretty cozy in the 5th house. Lots and lots and lots of power, headlines. His career, poor introvert, is about to take off.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting. And his brother would be Venus. So we would look to see where Venus is and look at how Venus is right on the cusp of the 8th house.
Yes.
So, so there is, this is right now. I want to talk about King Charles.
Yeah.
And I went to King Charles lunations, and I'm going to show you. You would go to the moons, the full moons in Astrologer, and you're going to see a date. And so the full moons, the new moon for everybody is going to be in Leo. And this is going to be August 4th. But for him, this is pretty big. This is going to be probably, I would say, August 15th through September. There's something new that's happening, and it's in his 1st house, which means it is his identity. His identity transforms.
Yeah.
And because Pluto is right there, Pluto is the transformation, Pluto is the monarchy. Something is different. So is that too vague to ask the card? What?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. Yeah, because it's interesting. I didn't, that was Pluto on the ascendant.
Not on the ascendant, but
Okay.
it's in the first house. The
Okay.
new moon is pretty much conjunct on his Pluto.
Okay.
And so I'm wondering what
Hmm.
that's all about. And let me see. Pluto rules his fifth house. So that's his family. His family transforms. I wonder if we're going to get some announcements in August. August is
Mhm.
a big month. Oh,
Yeah.
well, August to September, since it's the new moon, we got to give it a little chance.
Yeah. That 30-day. If there's something that's changing with him, it's probably a good thing. I have the Wheel of Fortune. I have the High Priestess, which High Priestess really, I always talk about being sort of a feminine ancestral sort of energy, but it is about intuition. It's about, coming to terms, having peace, being very, grounded and centered spiritually. It's not a bad thing. Knight of Cups in reverse, though, to sort of partner this with the Nine of Swords, it's something quite stressful. And it could be centered around a younger male. There could be some change in a younger male around him that's stressful. I wonder if there's something coming about his boys in that time frame. And he is sort of this mediator, which I know has not been the case so far. I don't know if you see Harry or William in this piece or any other aspects to that, but I would say I see him mediating the boys.
Okay. Because it's in Leo, that's the kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But at the same time, so you're right about that, I think. Pluto's jealousy, but it also means murder. Now, I'm not trying to say anything about the family or anything, but did you see how there was that there's a killer on the loose? Yeah, there's a killer on the loose. Somebody started stabbing people. It was like south the Heathrow. So it's
The Page of Swords with that single sword, right, as you were saying. And the Five of Swords. Yeah, that's a fight. That's a fight.
So something Leo related. Yeah, there's jealousy. There's a lot of taking of somebody else's, not necessarily of that King Charles is doing it, but when you have something like that in your first house, it's what you're seeing around you. So suddenly you're like seeing other people transform. You're like, wow, I didn't know that was part of your personality. I didn't know you wanted that, whatever, painting that badly, that kind of stuff. It's like, I want this, I want that. So that is a possibility, but Pluto's pretty strong there. And yeah.
The question of, how does this impact Charles? Everything I have is a major arcana, and it is positive energy. The Wheel of Fortune, the Star card, these are very powerful. The Ace of Swords, which is the card of truth. And the King of Swords, which is also a very truth-telling, straightforward, logic thinking, King of Wands. There's a lot of energy that's male, and it's in its strength. It's in its strength for the question about Charles in that time frame.
And this tells me this is good news.
Yeah.
We are potentially going to get good news that King Charles is successful in doing something, maybe transforming the relationship of his kids, which would be great. Somehow I don't know how that's going to happen. Or he himself is transforming. Maybe he feels or looks different in some way where people are like, oh, he looks a lot different than he did last month. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they've found that. It's just this like guy. What is it with knives lately? People are crazy. The knife. It was like an attacker. UK. Let me see here.
Oh yes, it was. Was it at the airport?
Yeah, it was south of the airport.
Okay.
But and there's a rise in knife attacks. That was just in May. May 11th, the AP reported about that. So
Yeah.
interesting you're getting so many swords. I think of knives because of all the
Yeah.
true crime that we do. So that's August 4th. That's the new moon. We'll see. It's, the new moon means that something starts. And it could be good. It's so close to that Pluto that I think, it could be a transfer of power. He's constantly giving out and changing around, and this one's yours and that one's yours, and that kind of thing. That's a possibility. I wanted to look at Princess Catherine real quick. October 2nd is when the solar eclipse happens for all of us, and it shows something new is happening, and it is conjunct her Mars, and it's in the 3rd house. So something's happening where this has to do with relationship, maybe. 3rd house is a sibling, an uncle, that uncle of hers. Maybe we'll start hearing more from him. Hopefully not. Mars in Libra. I wonder if that is she's starting something. She's trying to start a relationship again with someone, or she could be aggressive about something. She might be mad. Mars sometimes is mad. Sometimes it's just being proactive. That's going to be October 2nd, and that's probably going to kind of start to formulate throughout the winter, I think.
Yeah. The funny thing is, first card I have is the 4 of Swords, which is very early Libra. So the date makes perfect sense, early Libra. After a period of rest, you're right. Ace of Wands, big passionate energy, lots of, creativity, and it's work and it's opportunity, positive, along with the Ace of Swords again, which is about the truth and about being very vocal, perhaps, and the Strength card. This is a strong period. And the Judgment card. So, even inside of all of these cards, the overarching message is that there's power, there's, ability, there's vitality. This is all very energized energy for her. And it could be around something that she's super passionate about. This something to do with work.
Okay.
That's what that one is.
Yeah, she's saying something. 3rd house is what you're saying, what you're thinking, what's on your mind.
Yes.
And that's natally for her anyway. So, but it just so happens that that new moon is hitting that Mars, and it could be something where she's trying to maybe even do more with her sister. I don't know, but sometimes Mars is a man, and it can be like an uncle. So I think her uncle might come into things. Now, hey, Angel D, nice to see you, Angel. Angel, you love Sophie, and Angel D, maybe a garden party for the new prime minister. Oh, definitely, undoubtedly, an unequivocal yes, as Amber would say. And Angel D says, can you please ask the cards if something bad is going to happen on the Tower Bridge? Because we were looking at the twins last time, and it does have twin towers. We also saw, what tennis pro was on? Was it Federer?
I was going to say something with an R, but yeah, I think you might be right.
They projected him onto the.
Yes.
And this was after our last show. It's like, and you were saying how that was twins. I'm going to look it up. I want to see that. That was pretty cool.
And I think it was him versus his younger self,
which would be the twin. Yes.
Yes.
Twin
Wild.
Twin Bridge Broadcasting. It's a promo on the Tower Bridge. The greatest ad I've ever seen, it says. It's pretty cool. Now let's go back to the question. I know now we have Angel D in a panic. She's like, are you going to draw the cards or what? But what do we have?
The Devil and the 9 of Swords. The Devil can be read as a no, just very flatly, but it isn't a no in my mind. I do find it interesting that we're asking about the twin, this idea of these two images sort of chained and connected together, similar to the bridge. There's just an ominous feeling with both of these cards together. There's a little bit of an omen vibe.
Yeah, that's scary.
Hmm.
It almost makes me think that, there should be some kind of improved security. I mean,
Well, what I see around that ask are a lot of women, very oddly, a lot of women. I don't, is there, this is, oh my gosh, another one. I would say if there is some kind of walk, I know on the East Coast, there's, a march, a women's march, and they, use a bridge to sort of make this march, and they raise money. If there's some kind of charitable walk or something that involves the bridge, I would say the security, beef it up, or, there might be some interesting things surrounding an event like that with women, centered on women. But I don't know if there's anything that they do on that bridge. But
what we were talking about, as far as Federer, so cool. Can you see it?
yes.
Yeah, so it's the younger one playing the older Federer. Like, I mean, that is just, I get chills looking at that. That is
Really?
marketing genius.
Yeah.
But somebody who thought about that deserves an award for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what we were talking about. I mean, it's almost like, it's like the Tower Bridge saying, look at me, look at me.
Yeah. Yeah. Over here.
It is calling attention to it. So
Yeah.
we wonder if
Yes.
that's going to be something coming up. We don't want to scare anyone, but we're getting the Tower, we're getting the Devil, we're getting swords,
And the death card on the bottom of the deck just now.
we're careful, we plan ahead, we don't walk by ourselves. And if there is a large woman's event or
Yeah.
with a lot of females,
Yeah.
just take caution. That's all.
Yeah.
And I think that,
Uranus.
well, can we ask one more question? Will the person, because there are some terrorist cells, and we've already had, I think we talked about this before, I can't remember. I think it was by the Tower Bridge. There was already a terrorist attack a few years ago. So this
Yeah.
could be the twin event.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but I wonder, will it be thwarted?
Mm-hmm.
Could we ask something like that?
Yeah. There's a couple of them. One more. Yes. Woo! Star card. Woo! I like that.
Thank God. Thank God.
But I actually feel like, the 8 of, it's a walk. There's some kind of something. This is like someone literally walking away. There's just multiple things with that. But it's a celebration. It's sort of, people celebrating together, doing something, but it is female. The star to the question is a yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
UK.
Yeah.
What would it be called? I wonder if it would be like a marathon or something.
Maybe, but it is specific to women. There were so many women.
A
Yeah.
lot of times people write in and tell us, so
Yeah.
we'll have to keep an eye out.
And I.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. This was
Thank you.
fascinating as usual. And thanks everybody for weighing in and giving us your thoughts, and also catching us on replay. And we will see you again next week. Have a good one, Amber.
Hi, you too.